Barbara's saying, when soldering 28 to 30 gram plain silver bezel, I have trouble making the joints flush without a lot of fussing. Sawing the two at the same time doesn't always work. Any tips?
So 28 to 30 gauge, that would be.
Oh, gauge, sorry, yeah.
That's okay.
I was thinking then.
It's a lot, I think.
It's a big bezel.
A lot of people will come along and use flush cutters for cutting the ends of bezels. Some people will come along with a pair of shears and cutters.
What's 28 to 30 gauge in?
We must get a table.
We need to, don't we?
Must put a table up. But I imagine it's going to be quite thin. It is a problem that you can overcome with the skill in soldering. I would always try and get the ends of the bezel obviously completely flush and flat. So it's about the normal thickness that you get, say, like from Cookson, sorry. So if you have a pair of flush cutters, when you cut a piece of metal, one edge will be flush and the other will be cut like that. So if I was using flush cutters to cut a piece of metal, I would cut, for argument's sake, a pair, yes. So I'd have a pair of flush cutters, so I would cut like the flat edge here and cut that side, but this side is going to be at an angle due to the cutters, so I would turn the cutters around and cut there. So I would cut that and cut that. That then would give me pretty much flat areas to solder. If you try to solder the bezel wire and the ends come together like this instead of like this, you are going to have a hard job trying to solder it. So I would always make sure that these edges of your solder wire or bezel, whatever it is, are flush and even like that. You can saw it. When you come to saw, obviously the teeth are like that, obviously, so it cuts on the downward stroke, but the teeth will always cut in the upward stroke as well. Not as much as obviously pulling it downwards, but it's got a gentler cut by pushing upwards. So if this is, say, this is 0.3 millimeters thick, you can just run the saw upwards and it will still cut through the metal without distorting it. Don't try and cut the metal across the top. Use the saw going across the whole width of the bezel. Don't try and cut it down this way, but you can cut through it that way, or just go up and up and up, and it will make sure it's nice and flat. You can always use a miter jig as well to get your, you're looking for a miter jig, I'm sure there is one in here. Never use a miter jig myself. Did I take it down for you, Louise? I did, didn't I?
You did. Do you want me to go and get it for you?
No, it's okay, don't worry. Don't worry. Nope, I got one here. You can always use a miter jig, something like this here. Undo the screws, pull it apart. This is the 90-degree area here. Put it in so the metal lies flush with this little cutout here, as you can see here. So you can ensure then that if it lies against this little piece that's sticking out here, it'll be 90 degrees for the edge. You push it together, tighten these up, file across the top, and then you'll get a nice 90 degree. So that is what I would do. I would never, ever use a pair of shears or side cutters, flush cutters to cut a bezel. It distorts the metal too much. I would always put it on the edge of my peg and just gently run the saw upwards to make sure it's nice and flat. And then you've got that 1/3 of a millimeter together. Ease it together so it comes together perfectly without twisting. A little bit of solder and just to try and solder it. But that would be the way I would do it. Don't use shears, don't use flush cutters, but saw it and file it nice and flat.